So Empiretech sent us a cool camera to check out after the fun we had with the previous 180 one that didn't go too well. Now, there's no funds exchanged with this. They just sent the camera for review, so we kept it unbiased like we always do. Now, for the camera, pretty cool that, they have this little setup where you've got one lens here and one lens here. It kind of gives you that 180 view. It's a really good tool in the toolbox of cameras if you've only got a spot to put one camera, but you just need wide angle. And yeah, I know I've had some people ask, is it actually two cameras? Well, it's two lenses, it's one camera, so it's only one port. So if you have a location that just has one cable, this might be a great tool for you. But hey, if you can run two wires to a location, I would recommend doing two separate cameras. It just all depends on what the install is. Now, they have the little warm white LEDs on here. On either side, there's no IR LEDs. I do believe there is a speaker from what I remember seeing, the talk feature. I have not used that, but I did use the microphone on this and it sounds pretty decent.
Holy shit. It popped out. It like made like a.
Did you already have one in that tube out there?
Yeah.
Now, you won't get any IR LEDs because, yeah, there's no like black and white night vision, but does kind of okay on the color night vision, which we'll get to some of the clips on that later in the video. But the really cool part is the mount. They stuck to that KISS principle, to keep it simple, stupid. They didn't over-engineer it because this is that turret. I'm sure they have all the other models, the Bullet. They have white models like this. I'm sure I'll post some various pictures, but I'm really happy with the turret on this because it can mount whatever way you want. If you've got it on a crooked soffit or something, it's old jank soffit that's maybe rotten a little bit, and you got to tilt it a little bit, guess what you can do? You can do that. Could we do that with the, not saying any names? No, you couldn't do that because they did this stupid design. No, don't buy that. This is the one to get. And it just goes whatever way you want. It's a turret. And down to the cables. There's nothing really crazy with it. If you really want to do it with the power, you can do it separate power. I'm using power over Ethernet, but hey, it's your choice. If you don't have power over Ethernet, you can do that. This one is audio out and audio in. So I guess that answers my own question. Apparently, yes, there is a speaker on it. I have not using these right now, these RCAs. Don't have anything really for that, but I have used the microphone over the data connection on it. Then they have, these are those typical deals you get with the alarm in, alarm out. So yeah, this is going to be the same type of firmware you're familiar with, the Daiwa, Amcrest, whatever, Empiretech. They're all in the same family. They do work well with Blue Iris. They work well with Frigate, all your software NVRs, everything, because when it comes to the codecs and being able to do all the RTSP on VIF deal, is just standard right out the box, and you don't have to do any weird stuff like some other brands. So one other thing, this is, a regular little turret of Amcrest, is how amazing is this that the size is not that much different. I mean, that's the other honking crazy one from Anki and others. They're crazy big, but this one keeps it pretty tight and it comes in a really good package. Now, the price is a little bit more because it's two cameras, in one, and you do get what you pay for on that. But let's go jump into look at some footage, enough talking in the GUI and the whole thing, and some of the features of this guy.
the ball on it with?
I don't know! Let me go!
So real quick, looking at some of the specs on here, there's the lens size for you that we did talk about. It's not exactly like the previous one that was 1/1.2 inch, but it still does an okay job for that color night vision. Now we'll get to the resolution. This is 4096 by 1800. There's a lot of math stuff, but hey, they all did it here for us. It's an 8 megapixel, so divide that by 2, it's 4 megapixels. So you get 4 megapixels times the other 4 megapixel to get your 8. You can turn it down if you want, but the cool thing is this has those substreams and that third substream, so you don't have to run that SD 480p version of the substream for like Frigate or Blue Iris. You can actually use that little bit better resolution of that third substream. Pretty cool feature, and you can set all the video compression, do all the things you want right there. Now the GUI, really love the software on these cameras because you can change just about everything you want. It's like the GUIs of the Daiwa, Empiretech, Amcrest, like you always know. Now there is a little feature called EPTZ. I didn't play with it too much. It seems to be where it'll auto track somebody in these different squares, but it seems to be only right now for the SD card. So I don't normally do SD cards in camera at this time because they always seem to fail right when you need them. Maybe we'll cover this later in another one, but I think Empiretech covered some stuff on his website for this stuff. They have that splicing. You'll see some of my clips, the splicing across the road is kind of weird, but I really don't care about what's going on over there. I care about what's going on in my driveway, so I set the splicing kind of where I wanted it right there, but you can change it right there in the GUI itself. Now the image stuff has all the things like, the backlight for the WDR, that's wide dynamic range, and what that is if you've got an area that has a lot of shadows and has a lot of light. And yeah, that's me because the sun is coming on one side and the west side of the house has this crazy shadow. And yeah, the Reolink camera doesn't have this, the 181, the Duo 2, I think it is. And you'll see a clip here I'll probably show of that crazy shadow. And it's quite dark when someone's in there because it gets blinded by the light. I'm sure there's a song there that I've covered before. But this one has it. It works pretty damn good. It does lower the frame rate a little bit, but man, you still get 20 frames per second on that. Now the illuminator stuff, that's not a movie. That's actually where you come in here and change for turning on those warm white LEDs, and you can set the brightness maximum level here if you like. You can see them pop on right there. I'm setting it on off on mine for right now. And the cool part that I really love about this damn camera, always, these is all the damn tweaks and everything. This is what I run. I try to run my frame rate and the iframe the same, makes Blue Iris a little happier. You get the substream options. You can change the compression to H.265 if you want to run that. H.265 is better compression, saves on disk space, but it's not as compatible as H.264. I like to run constant bit rate instead of variable bit rate. Yeah, of course, then there's that other substream too, if you like, right there. The overlays, that's just your typical deal where you can add your privacy mask. You can add picture overlays, the time title, channel title, etc. Audio, I believe the audio is turned down by default, but I do crank that sampling rate up because, yeah, I think it's like on 8,000, I think, on sometimes, and that kind of sounds crappy. So I turn that thing up a little. The GUI's kind of a little different on this guy because it's the newer style Dahua GUI. You hit the little home button, you'll get all the other stuff in here. You can do the PTZ settings we talked about. The AI stuff is in there. I know this is one I've always go look for to set the damn, I hate the stupid daylight savings time. Can't we get rid of that crap just yet? Come on, damn politicians. But yeah, there it is. So your clocks aren't wrong on your cameras. Now let's just talk about the color night vision. Yeah, it looks like there's a lot of light out here. There's not. Got some pictures, some video from my Pixel 7 Pro. It's a really great Android camera and does a good job in the dark. And it's pretty damn dark even for that camera. And yeah, the motion lights just kicked on. You can see how better it looks with the motion lights on it. So we'll get straight to that. If you can have motion lights in an area where you really need to see in the darkness, that's going to be your best bet for color night vision. Or if you want to use the little LEDs on there, you can probably use those as well. They do a pretty decent job. And you can definitely see that this camera blows out the water, that Reolink Duo 2. I've ran that thing in their color night vision, and it's downright awful. So you can definitely see you get what you pay for on this when you buy a little better camera and spend a little more money there than some of the Reolink models. So this camera for you, if you can run another wire, you really need something that's 2 cameras, run another wire if you can. Or, hey, can you get one of the PoE splitters like I've used around and things before? But I totally get it. If you've got an area such as the Hef's area here on this wall where you can't go put, a PoE splitter and have wires hanging, there's just no room for that, then this camera might be for you. It's a really good tool in the toolbox of cameras to grab that big wide view of everything all in one package with one Ethernet cable. So that's going to be it for this one. Find all the links for all the stuff down below if you want to check one out and pick one up. And I do appreciate all the Patreon members, YouTube members. We definitely couldn't do it without you. And yep, press all them buttons, and y'all take care.
So pointing at me to fight, huh?
I got it lit. Finally.
What did you use?
Sparkling.
And then it sparkled?
It's lit.
So pointing at me to fight, huh?
I got it lit. Finally.